In Australia, young people can expect to go to school and have a decent schooling or a decent training. This is not the case in many other parts of the world. This is Roger from the MSC Mission Office. You're with Mission Alive, and we have a mission to help a lot of youth. I want to talk to you about a couple of places that we've been to recently. I went recently to Vietnam, and I went more recently to India. And in all those places, of course, there's a lot of young people, a lot are lucky and get into school. There's a lot of others who don't have the same opportunities for various reasons. Socioeconomic, their parents are poor, they can't afford school, and maybe various other reasons. First, I want to talk to you one about Vietnam. This is in the Nha An province. And when I was in Saigon City, a priest from there came in to present a report of a water project that we'd done previously, and to present and talk about ongoing projects. So one of the things he wanted, he had a situation with cancer patients who couldn't afford the treatment. So he's proposing something about that. And for that too, he wanted an ambulance. And I was able to say fairly quickly, sorry, we don't do ambulances, which we don't. We don't do vehicles. But the third one was about some youth going to a school, and they had to come quite a distance from their homes, from their villages to the school. And he was proposing, first off, accommodation for these students. And of course, accommodation involves a building, food, and all kinds of things. So we discussed this backwards and forwards, and then what he settled on was if we could get bicycles for the students. They could ride every day from the village, go to school and ride home again, which would be better for them to stay at home with their parents and their family, and it would be cheaper in the long run and less responsibility for someone looking after children. So anyway, that one's in process, and we're expecting some application from him. The other one, or two I want to talk about, is in India, where I was more recently. One was at a place in Tamil Nadu called Kotagiri, and we had done there for a school water project. Now, the school had, I think, off memory, 250 students. Most of these, or all of them in that area, were tribal people who were a different ethnic group. They actually had slightly different appearance, very Indian looking in as many of them are, but different, with their own language and their own culture. And I think most of the students at that school were from those tribal groups. And in the school, I was trying to promote that. And in our welcome there, we were treated to a dance from a group of these young students from their own tribal tradition, and that was very good. And I have a video of that, which I'll be trying to put up tomorrow. So the water project there was successful, and just a little bit how that came about. The sister that was in charge was working in I think in Andhra Pradesh province, and there was one of our priests from the Indian Union there that had come from that area, and he knew the area well, and through him, sister asked for a water project, which we gave some years ago, and then she was moved to this other school, and through the same connection, we did another project for that school. But as we were leaving, she presented another project to us, which is going to be a special tuition program for these tribal kids, because many of them were disadvantaged in a way that their parents used to work in the tea plantations. This was up in the mountains. There was a lot of tea plantations. The parents used to work there, but were not paid enough. The big tea companies were not paying enough for real support of the family and for the kids at school. So sister was asking help for assistance for tuition, school fees, uniforms, books, those sorts of things. Now this we'll consider in due course But I found there the welcome was really, really nice. A lot of the kids were very, very polite and spoke good English. And it was a delightful place to be. And it was up in the mountains, so it was nice and cool. It had rain, so it was a rather pleasant day. So we'll look at that one. Now, the last one I want to mention was back in Saigon, in Bangalore. We went to a slum area, which was rather shocking to see how people live in the slum areas. And there was a lady there who used to take 20 to 30 kids off the street, and she would feed them every day and give them whatever tuition she could, teaching them English, basics of reading, writing, and so on. And then bit by bit, she would get some of them into the school system. So she gathered some of the kids there for our visit, and there was a girl there in grade 9, another one in grade 6, and a young lad in grade 4. And there too, the welcome was very, very good. This was a project we funded some years ago. It went into abeyance during the COVID, but our MSC brothers in India want to begin again. So we'll be looking at that. So these kids, if they don't get into school, they've got no chance. The only place they can live really is out on the streets. There they can get easily into drugs, crime, prostitution, whatever. Not a good future to look at. But if we get them into school, get them a chance of an education, and if they work hard, they will be able to get ahead in life. This is Mission Alive. Thank you for being with us, and please continue your support for all these projects that we have in hand and all the things that we're doing. Thank you very much.